Hi, welcome to this mindful outdoor experience. My name is Jo Bregnard. I'm a self-care mentor, a yoga teacher, Wild Trails Farms retreat manager, and I'm also a Kripalu Mindful Outdoor guide in training. A mindful outdoor experience is a chance to welcome in present moment awareness to connect more deeply with ourselves, also with the land around us and our many relations in the more than human world. An MOE is an opportunity to slow down, to open our senses, and to allow ourselves to become curious and aware of our surroundings. You might like to think of mindfulness as a practice of remembering where we are and what we're doing, and a practice of being here now. As we progress together, I'll offer up a variety of invitations, things to notice and pay attention to, and practices intended to lower our disturbance and increase our awareness as we move mindfully over the earth. And although I'll be your human guide today, I'll keep track of time, suggest practices, and facilitate the experience. The true guide is the natural world itself. So we'll be surprised together by the unexpected ways that nature will show up for us today. This will be about a 30-minute MOE. I'll keep my eye on the time so you don't have to. If at any point today something doesn't feel right, or if you need help with anything, just let me know. This time is about exploring your own relationship with the earth. So trust your instincts and honor your edges. The land we're on today is ancestral land of the Western Abenaki. The Abenaki or Wabanaki cared for this land thousands of years before settlers from Europe arrived on these shores. Abenaki means people of the dawn land, as these people lived in the east where the sun rises. The Abenaki followed the food and trade routes of the nearby Connecticut River, whose valleys provided ample rainfall and therefore rich soil and plenty of frost-free days for raising food crops. You can catch a glimpse of Mount Ascutney during our time together today. You can see it a little bit poking up through the fog over the trees there. It was the core of an extinct volcano that's about 125 million years old. Back then, the Northeast was an ice desert with no life. More than 11,000 years ago, the Earth we're standing on would have been beneath a mile of ice from the last ice age. At that time, elsewhere, our neighbors would have been crafting fluted points for hunting land mammals like woolly mammoths and mastodons along the Connecticut River. We would have lived in alignment with the rhythms and cycles of the seasons, and we would have been dependent on this land for our sustenance. Take a few moments now to consider the history of the land you're standing on. Imagine what stories might be embedded in the deep soil beneath your feet. Who's walked here before you? Human and more than human. What will this land look like 11,000 years from now? How might our choices impact those who'll be there then? Take a look around and notice the topography of the land, the contours of the earthly body, the forests, the fields, hills and valleys, and even the bodies of water here, this river and stream. And for a few moments, allow your senses to feel the presence of the natural world flowing all around and through you, just like that water. Before we begin to move over the land, let's circle up for a few minutes to connect with the body, release a little tension, and warm up the joints and muscles. Being in our bodies this way helps prime us for that mindful outdoor experience. It brings us back into our bodies and lets the need for the thinking brain drop away. And if what I'm suggesting for you doesn't feel right, go ahead and do something that does feel right for you to move your body and connect yourself with the earth underneath you. Let's begin by orienting ourselves toward the sun. Sun is rising right now from the east. It's getting brighter, helping to burn off this autumn fog that's around us right now. Stand with your feet about hip width apart, maybe a bit wider. Keep a little bit of a bend to your knees and let your arms hang down comfortably by your sides. Begin to rotate your upper body side to side and let your arms hang freely and contact your body in the front and the back, maybe down along the tops of your legs or just at your center where your digestive organs are. As you turn from side to side, you might allow that back heel to lift up. You might allow your head, your gaze to go over your shoulder and move at a pace and in a way that feels right for you, swinging from side to side, arms like they're in a big empty coat, big coat sleeves. Use some soft fists now to make a more concrete connection through your hands to your body. You can even lift your arms up a bit so that you contact the fronts of your shoulders with those soft fists, and perhaps even start to take your soft fists just over the tops of your shoulders where we hold a lot of tension from sitting and driving. And see if you can allow a sense of waking up through this gentle knocking on your body. Begin to slow down, allowing the arms to flop freely as you slow your rotations, beginning to replug your feet back into the earth now. And exhale, feeling your feet connecting with the earth, plugging right in. On an inhale, imagine scooping up energy from the earth, 2 hands in front of you, palms up, start to rise those palms in front of you. When they reach about your heart space, flip the palms forward, and then eventually facing up as if you're pressing up the earth, pressing away. Take your gaze up toward your hands and maybe consider coming up on your toes for a moment. Just an option. Exhale, settle the heels back down and begin to draw those hands in reverse order back down in front of you, pressing away, facing away as they reach your heart space, and then facing down as they cascade down in front of your body, sending the energy back down into the earth. And let's repeat that with a little bit of an add-on. Inhale, scoop the energy up in front of you, palms up, filling up, palms facing forward at your heart space, and then eventually up as if you're holding up the sky. Maybe interlace your fingers here. As you exhale, settle back into your heels, arms stay long up above you. Inhale, extend right through those arms, through the interlaced fingers, and then exhale, take a side bend. Let's take one over to the left. Feel the rainbow in your right side body, right through your ribs. Inhale, reach up through center, and exhale, opposite side, rainbow now in your left ribs. Feel the space between the ribs here. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, one more each side. Still plugging in with both feet so you really feel the length through the side body on each side. Moving in your way. Last inhale, back up through center, and then exhale, break the hands apart and slowly bring the hands down in front of you, releasing energy back down into the earth. Shake this out. One last movement here. Go ahead, bend your knees, sink your hips. Bring your hands to the tops of your knees as if you're squatting down to look at something interesting on the earth here. We'll be doing this, I'm sure, later. Feel your neutral spine here, the 4 curves of your spine, curves at your low back, at the back of your neck, your tailbone, and at your shoulders. Just your neutral, natural spine. On an inhale, take your gaze lifted toward the sun. Bring your heart space toward the sun as your tailbone lifts and your belly softly drops down toward the earth in between. A little bit of a sway back. On your exhale, draw that belly toward your spine. Allow your gaze to drift down toward the earth. Round out, press out. Use your arms here for some leverage. Inhale, allow your belly to drop down toward the earth as your gaze lifts up, your heart lifts up toward the sun. Feel a bit of warmth, whatever degree that might be for you today. And then exhale, belly to spine, round it out. Crown of the head comes down toward the earth. Let's find that neutral spine somewhere in the middle now, just where you started. And then use your hands to walk up the fronts of your legs to come back to standing. Nice job. Any shaking out of tension you want to do here, any other movements that will help you feel complete, go ahead and do that. Once again, feel your feet on this earth. If it's comfortable for you, allow your eyes to close or your gaze to soften, just sort of to fuzz out in front of you so you're not looking at anything in particular. And notice what you're feeling. Breathe in through your nose and then let out a long, slow exhale, maybe through pursed lips, as if you're blowing through a straw. Let each inhale be conscious and gentle, and allow each exhale to be deeper and more complete. As you breathe here, let the exhale be longer than the inhale, drawing you into a relaxed and alert state of awareness. Notice all the sensations in the wave of your breath. Become aware of the way that the breath connects you with all of life. Your exhalation provides the carbon dioxide that the trees take in. Their exhalation provides some of the oxygen that you inhale. So continue to breathe in this way, perhaps repeating the following phrases silently to yourself as you breathe in and out. Breathing in, I feel my body. Breathing out, I feel the earth. And this air we're breathing right now has been recycled on this planet for over 1 billion years. It connects us with all of life. As you feel ready, release any and all control of that breath. Feel your feet pressing down into the earth. Feel your legs, your torso, your spine, neck, and the crown of your head. Notice the connection your body creates between the earth below you and the infinite sky above you. And start to notice the sounds of the earth, the wind in the trees, the occasional car rumbling down along the road, bird song, maybe insects, maybe a human voice, but certainly the sound of your own breath and silence. For a few moments, allow yourself to be a witness, observing your experience in this moment without any judgment, simply receiving the sounds of the earth without putting labels or names on anything, knowing that this exact combination of sounds will never happen again. I invite you right now to set an intention to be fully present for our time together and to make the most of our connection time with the earth. Now gather your awareness into your heart space. Invite a few deep breaths here and notice what might feel like a gift to you in this moment. Within the quiet space of your own heart, speak the words, "I'm grateful for," and notice what feelings or images arise within you. Stay with these sensations for a few more breaths, allowing gratitude to fill your heart space. As you're ready, allow your eyes to open again, blink them open, notice your surroundings, notice movements, and the play of light and shadow, and all the colors and textures of this world around us. Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "When we walk like we're rushing, we print anxiety and sorrow on the earth. We have to walk in a way that we only print peace and serenity on the earth." Be aware of the contact between your feet and the earth. Walk as if you're kissing the earth with your feet. Today, let's walk on the earth with full awareness and no destination at all in mind. To walk in this way is to open all our senses to the environment we're in and let each step be a gentle expression of thanksgiving of the miracle of life and nature. As we walk like this, we raise our own awareness and we lower our disturbance to the more than human world around us. So, what I mean is, the more mindfully we step, the less disturbance we create, and the more we'll encounter on our journey. We can raise our awareness and lower our disturbance in this way by walking quietly, practicing social silence. I know that sometimes that can be a little awkward when we're in a group and we want to talk, but I'm giving you full permission now to be silent during our mindful outdoor experience. We can catch up later and share. Next would be to pay attention where we're stepping to avoid stepping on twigs to minimize the loud snapping noise. And to stay connected with our own breath, and continuing to let the exhales be longer than the inhales. As you're ready, let's come to this place where we'll begin our practice of walking with awareness. Notice this natural threshold here between two trees. It's a place where the field and the forest meet, and it sort of looks like a beginning to me, the beginning of a chapter, the beginning of a great story. There's a stick here on the ground, and when it's time for you to step over it, let that be a transition from your normal state of awareness into a state of enhanced and expanded awareness. One last thing here, if there's anything you can afford to leave behind, anything you don't need to carry with you during the time of our MOE, I invite you to lay it down here. It might be a burden, a sorrow, a distraction, a plan. Give yourself permission to set it aside here in your mind. You might even like to crystallize that action by placing a stone at the threshold as a physical representation of that thing you're leaving behind for a bit. There's no pressure at all to let anything go completely. Just consider this a setting aside. That way, if you choose when we're done to pick that thing up again, you can, but that's your choice. Take a moment to transition now. As you're ready, invite a full breath in through the nose, let it out through pursed lips. Go ahead and step over the stick. And for the next few minutes, we'll walk, we'll breathe, and we'll simply notice our surroundings. As you're ready, you may begin walking with awareness, kissing the earth with your feet. Where is your mind now? Gently coax your attention back to the act of walking with awareness. Allow your breath to help you rest easily in the embrace of the natural world, where there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, and really feel at home in this more than human world. As you feel ready, allow your walking to come to stillness. Simply receive the natural world around you for a few moments. And notice how you're feeling and what you're noticing. Bring to your own attention, has anything shifted for you since we began our experience together today? As we continue our journey, we'll follow some sensory invitations. Think of these practices for attending to the different ways in which we've evolved as a species to interact and experience our world. Today, we'll focus on just a few of our 5 primary senses, knowing that in reality, there are lots of ways that we sense our world. Things like thirst, hunger, proprioception, where we are in space, a sense of time, as well as awareness of seasonal changes, and all the things that go beyond the usual 5 senses of sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. Anthropologist and author David Abram writes, owing up to being an animal, a creature of the earth, tuning our animal senses to the sensible terrain, blending our skin with the rain-dappled surface of rivers, mingling our ears with the thunder and the thrumming of frogs, and our eyes with the molten sky. Feeling the polyrhythmic pulse of this place, this huge windswept body of water and stone, the vexed being in whose flesh we're entangled, becoming earth, becoming animal, becoming, in this manner, fully human. We'll begin today with an invitation that mindful outdoor guide Mark Rule calls hiking with hands. So as we wander on, I invite you to pause frequently to feel your surroundings. Reach out to touch rocks, tree bark, the earth beneath you, the wind blowing through the air. It's pretty chilly today, but if that water is inviting to you, maybe you'll allow your feet or your hands to play in that element of water. If you're comfortable with the idea of exploring walking barefoot, it's a wonderful way to invite the sense of touch while you feel your surroundings with your hands. So much sensation that way. So take this time to wander on and feel the earth with your hands and your feet, allowing yourself to pause often, to listen, to touch, and to receive. Ask yourself, what are you noticing? Where's your attention being called? What's fascinating you? How can you feel this land around you through your senses? And how does it feel to open your senses in this way to the earth? Allow your senseful wandering now to guide you to a place that feels inviting, a place that looks like it'd be comfortable for you to sit for about 10 minutes. Consider pausing for a moment, closing your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, and connecting once again with your breath. Connect with your own sense of knowing and begin to reach out with your feelings, sensing the terrain around you. As you're ready, allow yourself to be guided until you find the perfect spot to sit to observe your surroundings. Once you're settled, allow your body to become relaxed and still. Imagine that you're part of the landscape, like the boulders and the trees around you. Feel your presence sending roots down into the earth. Become a part of the land. Allow your awareness to arrive fully in this place. And for the next 10 minutes or so, allow yourself to observe the way that life is moving through the earth. Movement of air and wind, animal and insect activity, the changing nature and the quality of light and shadow, temperature shifts, and sounds around you. Know that there's no way at all to do this wrong. Allow everything that's happening to be endlessly fascinating, holding your attention in the eternal present. You can go ahead and pause the recording now. Maybe set a timer for 10 minutes and give yourself the space and time to explore with your senses while you're seated. Where's your attention now? Come back to the land. Notice any and all movement around and within you. As you feel ready, invite a full breath in and let it out with a gentle sigh or sound. Perhaps take a few moments now to acknowledge your own experience and express any words of gratitude for your experience to the land. As you're ready, let's transition to a time of integration for our experience. In a more traditional MOE, now would be the time when we'd invite everyone into a circle for a share or a council practice. That's when one person speaks at a time and everyone else practices listening from the heart without judgment or offering advice. And the goal is to have everyone have a chance to speak and be heard. The prompt we often use is, what did you or are you noticing? After each person shares, the group takes a breath together to honor that share and clearing the energy for the next person to speak. No one's required to share, but we do ask that everyone pays attention to who's speaking to the best of their ability. If you're on your own, this is the perfect time for some reflective journaling. You might take some time now to reflect on the question, what am I noticing? Allow the prompt to guide you into a time of some free-form journaling, reflecting on your nature sit practice, and allow your writing or sketching or reflection to flow organically in any way that feels right for you in the moment. When you feel complete, take a few moments to express your gratitude to the land, the more than human world, for holding your experience today. When you feel complete, you can continue with the rest of your day.